welcome back to Man United Fan TV. Man United 1, Crystal Palace 2. There's literally so much to say about this game, I just don't know where to start. Start right from the beginning. The team selection itself was reasonable. I'm not really a Lingard fan. I think he's a decent player, but I think Ollie wants to play him in this free role and with James wide, which is okay. James is good wide, but Lingard doesn't have the creativity to play this role. But what the system we're setting up with this like 4-3-3 system, it seems to lend itself to a counter-attacking team. If you're playing Crystal Palace at home, I mean, United shouldn't be counter-attacking anyway. It's not United style. United style is to take the game to the opposition. It's always been that way. It should always be that way. But we seem to be setting up a counter-attacking team to play at home to a team who are going to sit deep. It makes absolutely no sense at all. We need to change the system, in my opinion. I've never liked the 4-3-3 that Mourinho used to play and that Ollie's started playing as well. I mean, okay, it's that kind of set of players he's got. He hasn't got really creative midfielders and good defensive midfielders and wingers. He just has to make the best with what he's got. If I was Ollie, I'd go back to 4-4-2. Put someone like Chong out wide, maybe Gomez out wide on the left, James on the right, and put two midfielders in and keep Marshall and Rashford up front. Take Lingard out of the equation. He's not scoring enough goals, and he's not creative enough when he's in possession of the ball. He hasn't got that killer touch, that killer pass. So I'd bring the kids, give the kids a chance. We haven't got any other players in the squad to bring on. We look at the bench and we haven't got any big names, game changers on the bench to bring on to change a game. We have to go with the kids. We cannot continue with Mata and Matic and these players. They're too old and too slow. They need to be moved on, and we need to be giving the kids who are full of energy a run. Fair play, Greenwood got about half an hour for the Palace game, but it's not enough. In terms of the referee, and this is the most important thing, the referee was as poor as I've seen for a long time. It was Tierney, it was Paul Tierney. It was an absolute disgrace. He completely bottled the Cahill red card when Marshall was dragged down. It was as clear as it gets. Anyone claiming that Martin Kelly, who's 3 to 4 metres behind Marshall, is going to get to Marshall and stop him before his left foot connects with the ball, like it did against Wolves when he lashed it into the top of the net. Do you seriously think someone from 3 or 4 metres away can get a tackle in against him and it's not a goal-scoring opportunity? Even if there's a chance of getting a tackle in, it's still a goal-scoring opportunity. And you can see, if you pause the video footage, that Kelly is like 4 metres behind. He's behind Cahill, so how can you get a tackle in if he's 4 metres behind Cahill? It's absolutely astonishing decision, and the fact that VAR didn't overturn it is absolutely laughable. And the penalty decision was equally as bad. Marshall is clearly dragged down, impeded from behind. He's trying to shoot, and there's a guy pulling him down. It's like it was ridiculous as the foul on Harry Kane, but in the World Cup, which was played over and over again in the replays, and the guy's just dragging him to the ground. It was comedy refereeing. I can't laugh because it's so irritating, but Ollie needs to do something about it because it's happening way too often, and it's not a conspiracy theory. United are hard done by referees because the media is rabidly Abu. They hate United. They want United to lose, so they put massive pressure on the refs not to give United any decisions, because if they do give United a decision, they absolutely highlight it and they terrorise the referee for giving a pro-United decision. So a lot of the less clear, less contentious decisions, they all go against United because the refs are scared to give them. And even now we're seeing some absolutely clear fouls not given to United when they're absolutely you don't even need a replay. You can see the first time around. You can see the first time around when Marshall was dragged down by Cahill. It was a red card. There's no way anyone else is going to get to him before he shoots. This is farce. Yeah, under Fergie, this sort of thing that didn't happen as much because Fergie wouldn't stand for it. He'd be absolutely raging at the referees, and we probably didn't notice it as much when it did happen because we were so good. We didn't need the decisions, but we're not good now. This team under Ollie is nowhere near as good as any of Fergie's team, so they actually need these decisions to go in their favour. If the referee had done his job against Palace, as poor as United were overall, United would have convincingly won the game. Palace probably, if you look at Martin Kelly's tackles, there's the one he appears to foul Rashford as he goes around the outside of him. I have to see that one again, I'm not sure, but if that's a yellow card, then Kelly's dragged down Marshall in the box and fouled Rashford in the box. He should be sent off as well as Cahill. They should have been down to 9 players. But anyway, on to the player ratings for today's game. David De Gea didn't really have much to do apart from the 2 shots that were goals, so I can't really give him a high rating as he didn't save anything. I didn't think the second goal where Van Aanholt really rasps the ball at him was as bad an error as people are making out. It's, the guy hit the ball. The guy was given a free shot on goal and absolutely slammed it with his favoured left foot. The ball can go anywhere. I didn't think it was an error, but not a terrible error as some people are making out. I give him a 5 on 10. I thought he had 2 jobs to do and didn't save either of those chances. So Wan-Bissaka 7 on 10. Again, it is another assured performance. He was down that right hand side all the time, looking to create for United, and he didn't let anyone get down that side, apart from the goal at the end when we were caught on the break attacking. Which to be fair, he couldn't do much about that. I give him a 7 on 10. He's looking like a really, really good buy. Lindelof, oppositely, I've mentioned in the previous videos that I'm not a Lindelof fan. I don't think he's good enough for United, for all the reasons I've spelled out before. I don't think he's physically strong enough. I don't think he's tall enough to be a centre back. I don't think he's got the physical attributes to be a centre back. I don't think he has that capability to dominate, to win headers, to get tackles. And he's not a bad player. I'm not saying he's a really poor player. He's just, in my opinion, probably not good enough for Manchester United. And it's just a shame because in the previous 2 games with Maguire, I gave him a 7 on 10 in those games. I thought he played quite well. But there's going to be tougher tests than Crystal Palace coming up, and getting out jumped by Jeffrey Schlupp, who's like, I don't know, what's he, about 5'9". And okay, maybe he caught him on the blind side, but that's your job as a central defender. If you're not sure, you come and you come and clean out both player and ball. That's it. Like all the centre backs for Burnley and Brighton do. You don't see Lewis Dunk getting out jumped by people. You don't see that guy May from Burnley being out jumped by people and beaten in the air like that. We need better than Lindelof. But I've said that. It's nothing to do with this Palace game. I've said that last year, and I just don't think he's good enough. So I've given him a 4 on 10. I thought he was really, really poor yesterday. He was making errors, his passing was poor, everything was poor about his game. Maguire, again, very solid and reliable. Give him a 7 on 10. Wasn't his fault for the goal, the first goal, because he'd been dragged out wide because Shaw was off the field injured, so he'd pushed probably a bit further out to cover for Shaw, and then the missed header from Lindelof left him with he just couldn't get there to Ayew in time to stop the goal. If only we could put corners onto his head. Every single corner we seem to go to a different player, not our 6'5" centre back who can beat pretty much everybody in the air. We seem to put it anywhere in the box except on his head. They really need to practice that because we are shocking at corners. We want to take corners short and just do something else, because we're more at risk to conceding a goal on the break from a corner than we are actually scoring one at the moment. The corners are that bad. We can't be letting people like Rashford and Ashley Young anywhere near corners, because they just are dreadful at crossing. Shaw, I thought he was really poor. 4 on 10. What on earth was he doing coming back on, trying to come back on with a hamstring? If you've got a hamstring injury, you feel the pop in your leg or whatever, that's it, I'm done. Guys, I'm out of here. Yeah, get the sub on straight away. Just bring the sub on. We wouldn't have been short at the back when they scored had he not been a complete idiot and was trying to come back on when his hamstrings popped or whatever. God knows what he was doing. He was poor going forward again. I can't remember everything he did, but one of the shots he blasted miles over the bar, and this is basic schoolboy stuff. You're told when you're a kid, keep your head over the ball, shoot for the point of maximum opportunity, which is usually the far post, and make sure you get it on target, because in a crowded area like that, you hit that on target. You don't know whose legs it's going to come off, whatever. A Marshall might be on the end of it or something, and what does he do? He just absolutely blasts it wastefully over the bar. He needs, as I said in the previous videos, he's been playing okay, but he has to improve, and if he doesn't improve, this has got to be his last season at United. Daniel James, 8 on 10, man of the match for me. I gave him a man of the match for the Wolves performance as well, where even United supporters were calling him out for diving. Stop diving, Daniel James, even though he didn't dive and you didn't watch the footage properly. If you hadn't bothered to go back and watch the footage again, you would have seen that he was clipped against Wolves and he didn't dive. And he didn't dive again in the Palace game where that clown Tierney booked him for diving because he'd been booked in the previous game. That's it. Already the refs are terrorising Daniel James. He's going to be scared to run with the ball soon in case he gets booked for diving, for Christ's sake. Absolute nonsense. The kid was brilliant again, scored an absolutely fantastic goal. He was buzzing all around the pitch. Every time he got the ball, he used it wisely. He didn't give it away. He looks like an absolutely outstanding player. So much for the top red know-alls who were saying, he's not ready, you can't put him into the fray. It was absolute crap. You obviously don't know much about football if that's what you think, because this kid's an absolute superstar. Anyway, Pogba, 6 on 10. Again, we saw the best and the worst of Pogba in the game. We saw this fantastic urgency to get the ball back off Zaha with a sliding tackle, and then whip a superb pass in to Marshall, who played a lovely 1-2 with Rashford, and then put in James for the goal. It was great football. That's the speed we want to be playing at, whipping those passes, one touch, move it again. But then dwelling on the ball again, maybe there's not enough movement in front of him sometimes, but I think that's being too kind. I think he just generally is dwelling on the ball too much. He's just has a habit of strolling around with the ball, and you could probably get away with that in Italy when there isn't forwards like Benteke running back at full pace to try and get at you and nip the ball from you. It's going to happen in every game in the Premier League. He can't keep losing the ball like that. Anyway, I thought overall he was okay. He played some good passes. He was always involved in the game. I give him a 6 on 10. McTominay again at 6 on 10. He was typical McTominay performance. He was really involved. He was energetic, but he lacks that little bit of class at the moment to be able to put that pass through to beat a man and shoot. To do something special. That's what United midfielders should have. They shouldn't just be limited players like Matic. Matic is a good player in his own right, but United players should be able to skin someone and shoot. If you're a midfielder, there should be no United player who can't go round a player and shoot if you're a midfielder or an attacker for United. So I'll give McTominay a 6. He played he played a decent pass into. He took the pass from Greenwood, I think, and Marshall touched it onto him, and he went through into the box and got tripped up by, was it Cahill? No, it was the I've forgotten his name. Milosevic. I can't remember his name. Anyway, that centre midfielder for Palace who was crap. Anyway, Marshall I thought was pretty good. Again, I've seen some of the criticism of Marshall. Did you not watch the game? Look at it logically, right? Marshall's playing against a team with everyone behind the ball. Chances are going to be pretty limited, and he's got to make key moments. He's got to turn it in United's favour, right? And that's what he did. He 2 moments he skinned the Palace centre backs. One he was blatantly dragged down, red card Cahill. That should have changed the game. Referee cheated, didn't. Then dragged down again by Kelly in the area. That should have been. Was that a red card as well? Have another look. I'm not sure. But you know, he's created a penalty which wasn't given, a blatant penalty, and should have got a red card for someone. And he's played the 1-2 to put James in for the goal. Yeah, I thought overall Marshall did a really good job up front as a centre forward. Hopefully he's not badly injured, because we desperately need him at the moment. Because I think Lingard's got to be taken out of the team, and we can't lose Marshall as well. Maybe Sanchez can come in, but we haven't seen hardly anything from Sanchez recently that looks like he isn't finished. His legs have gone. It looks like to me his legs have gone, and you can't have players with the legs gone in the Premier League. But we'll see. Rashford 5 on 10. Again, a real mixed bag from Rashford. Did some really good things, and then was generally poor. His run round the back of was it Kelly? Was it Kelly again? When he skinned him round the back, and might have been impeded. Can't really see. I had a look at the replay on that, and I can't really tell. But Rashford certainly claims it, and I need to see a better replay of that. But he played the pass in for Marshall to skin Cahill when we should have had the red card. A lovely little pass in through the lines. But overall, missed a penalty. Was also at fault for Palace's second goal, in my opinion. He saw that, fair play to me, he saw that there was a break on for Palace and decided to run back. But then inexplicably, he didn't run goal side. You're always taught to run goal side of the goal threat. That's the first thing you learn as a kid in football, as a defender, you know. And he's got to defend in that position. We're down to 10 men. He runs back following Zaha. Instead of running goal side of it, he runs behind him so he can't get a tackle in. And then, because I think it's Bazaka blocks Zaha's path, he inexplicably stops behind Zaha. If he had have run goal side and got goal side, he would have been in a position to take the ball when it broke loose, or at least block the shot from Van Aanholt. But he just stopped inexplicably, didn't do anything. Nothing. He just stood there behind Zaha. The ball breaks to Van Aanholt, who gets a clean shot on goal. And this is in injury time. You know, it's shocking defending from Rashford. So I can't give him any more than a 5 on 10. He's he's probably lucky to get that, considering he missed a penalty. Lingard 4 on 10. Again, he was poor. His all-round game was poor. He never got into the game. In that role, he just doesn't have the creativity to play. He hasn't got the ability to do it. He's a willing runner, and he'll get into space and stuff. But you need someone, when you've already got Marshall and Rashford up front, you need someone who's got clever feet, who can feed them the ball, like a Dybala or something. I'm not a huge fan of Dybala, but he's one of the names that were mentioned in the summer as a possible transfer. So Lingard needs to be taken out of the team for the moment, at least for the moment anyway, because he's just not doing it. Subs Mata 4, he was dreadful again. No idea why Ollie keeps doing this. Did he not watch the previous games when he brought Mata on and he just plays sideways passes? He can't run, he's got no pace, he's no threat to the opposition. Bring on someone like Chong. The kid might lose the ball. Does it matter? Does it matter? We're probably not going to, we're not going to win the league anyway. You might as well give these kids a chance. If he can't get a chance against Palace at home, he's still playing Juan Mata, who we know can't do it. We've seen 1,000 times Mata isn't capable of doing it in the Premier League anymore. The odd occasion he might get a goal or something. Yeah, great, okay, fantastic, yeah. But, I don't know what to say. 4 on 10. I've no words for why he keeps bringing Mata on. Greenwood, give him a 5. It didn't have much effect on the game. We need to see more of him. It's hard bringing these kids into a team which is labouring and struggling. They should be brought in one by one in a team which is playing well. But unfortunately, we haven't invested in the team to get a proper decent setup. So we can then fit a kid in like Fergie used to. He'd like bring a kid in alongside 10 other quality players. But we're going to have to put the kids in and just risk them and let them learn. Well, I give him a 5 on 10. He played a nice, sweet little pass into to Marshall when McTominay came charging in to win the penalty, and it was neat and tidy, but he didn't really get involved in the game as much as we needed him to. We needed him to show some skill, and he didn't do it. But he was reasonable. Ashley Young did a reasonable job at left back. As always, he's really committed, energetic. Crossing poor again though. I think he had a shot which went tamely wide. But I give Young 6. I think he was reasonable. Overall, the takeaway points are the referee. Ollie's got to do something about the referee. The refs are favouring the opposition. They're not being impartial. We've seen this for years now since Fergie's gone. He needs to make a big stink about it. So next time a ref comes to Old Trafford, he's thinking, "Oh, I've got to watch myself here because I don't want United on my back, and they're going to be on my back." But if your manager meekly sits there and accepts outrageous refereeing decisions like we saw from the disgraced Tierney yesterday, then it's not going to improve. The media are going to continue to push for Abu refereeing, and it's going to continue like that for the rest of the season. We need to change the system up, as I said. Let's go to 4-4-2. Let's get Gomez or Chong on the wing. Just play them wide. If you lose the ball, no worries. Just say, have a go, kids. We're going to play 4-4-2, United with wingers, and we're going to have a go. And not this 4-3-3, which I think we always look disjointed with, and we don't create much. Hopefully, Marshall isn't badly injured, and things will start to come together. But I don't think the performance was as absolutely abject as some people are saying. With a little bit of luck, had we not had the injuries when they scored their 2 goals, we were down to 10 men. Had the referee not been a cheat. But it was a poor performance, but probably not deserving of that much criticism that it's had, I think. But we need to improve, change the system, get the kids in, let's go at teams, and we're not going to win the league anyway. Let's just have a go. Let's give the crowd some excitement, and let's see our kids play football. That's what we want to see. Anyway, please help us with the channel, like and subscribe, and share. And we'll try and get this channel started, get it off the ground, start doing some phone-ins, discussions, all that kind of thing. But let's get the channel going. It's only in its infancy at the moment. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.